I'm Dan McGrath, and this is Pilot After 50, the series where I share some of my perspectives on becoming a private pilot after turning 50. I'm a pretty freshly minted private pilot. I've conquered the skies, or at least I managed to scrape by a check ride. The FAA says I can fly airplanes, but where do I come by one to fly? Sure, I can keep renting from my flight school, and I did that for a while right after I got my ticket, but that's a pretty expensive way to go, and availability, especially for long trips, can get tricky. Luckily, I really enjoy night flying, and students don't do a lot of that, so I was usually able to get the plane I wanted for short trips after dark, but there's no night flying discount. Ground school taught me that Bernoulli and Newtonian principles acting on the airfoil create lift that keeps airplanes aloft, but what really makes an airplane fly is money. After the final push I made to get ready for my check ride, my bank account was crying for mercy. I had a license, but I could barely afford to use it. I needed to find ways to reduce the cost of this very expensive hobby and make it fit my lifestyle and goals. After a few months of continuing to rent a Cessna from school, I started giving serious consideration to what comes next. So now let's take a look at some popular options. Option 1, what I'm doing, renting from a flight school. Back to flight school, where my dreams of soaring through the clouds met the reality of computing wind correction angles on an E6B. Now they're just the Avis of the sky for me, but still offering the option of continuing my training into IFR, complex, and high-performance airplanes. Renting from my flight school was comfortable. I know the airplanes, I know the hangar, I know the people. Renting can provide flexibility. Can fly different types of airplanes, which is perfect for building experience before committing to a specific model. Flight schools handle maintenance and aircraft records, which can get complicated and expensive otherwise. You know they're doing their 100-hour inspections on top of the annuals, so safe equipment isn't much of a concern. There are quite a few potential pros to renting from a flight school. Renter insurance or unowned aircraft insurance is pretty affordable if you need it at my school, which I do. However, renting can be expensive in the long run, and scheduling your aircraft of choice might be tricky. My flight school charges about $130 an hour for a Cessna 172 dry. That means fuel burned is extra. They calculate it at 10 gallons per hour and typically charge around $7 per gallon for 100 low lead. So that's actually about $200 an hour. And there's a minimum of 1.5 hours. So if I just want to stay current by doing a few laps in the pattern for my 3 landings, the minimum I'm going to pay is $300 for that flight, even if I only wanted the plane for half an hour. So what if I bought a plane instead? Option 2, buying an airplane. Owning your own plane seems like it could be the ultimate freedom. You can fly wherever you want, personalize your aircraft, potentially build equity. They say money doesn't buy happiness, but have you ever seen a sad pilot while he's flying his own airplane? However, ownership comes with a hefty price tag. Maintenance, insurance, and hangar fees add up quickly, and these flying garden sheds aren't cheap, not even the old ones. I had to consider how many hours I actually expect to fly and the complexity and expense of all the inspections, repairs, and record keeping. There are so many variables to buying an airplane that the subject could be its own series, let alone video segment. But in short, I decided it's not for me. A brand new Cessna goes for just over $400,000, and even a 60-year-old model can still fetch $60,000. Sure, there's equity to consider, but just the incidental expenses and responsibilities of being a sole airplane owner are enough to put me off from going that route right now. Hangar space alone can go for around $300 a month. Between payments, insurance, and incidentals, the average annual cost of owning a small plane is about $30,000. If you don't have plenty of disposable income, owning a plane could easily become more like bondage than the freedom you're seeking in the sky, where you're just working around the clock to pay for it all. I've heard it said that the two happiest days in a boat owner's life are the day he buys the boat and the day he sells it. I could easily foresee how the same could apply to airplanes. Option 3, airplane ownership partnership. Partnering with other pilots allows you to share the costs and responsibilities of ownership. You can split flying time, maintenance tasks, and hangar fees, making it a more affordable option. However, finding compatible partners and agreeing on scheduling and the rules of operating and storing and cleaning the plane, etc., can be challenging. My old friend Hilton, who first got me interested in general aviation, was in a 5-way partnership on a Beechcraft Sierra that he seemed quite satisfied with, but in any partnership, trust is important. So is having a good lawyer on speed dial, just in case. Especially if you're getting into a long-term deal with people you don't know very well. Splitting the average annual expense of $30,000 5 ways reduces the average cost of ownership to just $6,000 per year or $500 per month. If you fly at least a couple hours a month, the finances make good sense. The drawbacks could be in personality, responsibility, and scheduling conflicts. You'd want to really check out the partnership before committing and make sure everyone has the same expectations and standards. For example, I'd be fairly irked if I brought a date to go sightseeing only to find out my partner had left a half-eaten fish sandwich rotting in the cockpit when he took the plane up a week ago. Finally, we come to the option I have chosen for myself, joining a flying club. Flying clubs may offer access to a variety of airplanes at a better cost than a common rental arrangement. Hangar costs, inspections, and maintenance responsibilities for the fleet are spread out among the members, usually covered by a flat monthly membership fee. Some flying clubs require buying an ownership share up front. The one I joined does not, so the initial cost of entry is much lower. The club I've joined maintains 2 heated hangars at the same airport I trained at, which is what I was looking for, and it has a total of 6 airplanes of different makes and models. While it would have been easy for me to just keep flying Cessna 172s like I was trained in, learning to fly other airplanes will expand my skills as a pilot, and while this club has a 172, it also has a couple low-wing airplanes, high performance, and complex options that will enable me to add some new endorsements to my logbook. It even has an acrobatic plane. I'm probably pretty far away from flying that machine, though. If you watched my earlier videos, you know that I'm not even very fond of 45-degree steep turns at this point. With a one-time entry fee of $600 and monthly dues of $72, I will save a ton of money with the reduced rental rates that come with this flying club. As long as I fly on average more than once a month, the savings over renting from my old school will be significant. The flight club has instructor members who can help me learn the unfamiliar aircrafts in the fleet and earn my complex and high-performance endorsements. There's a community of pilots to socialize with and learn from at club events. I've only just joined, so I'll have to tell you how it's working out in future episodes, but so far I'm pretty excited for the possibilities. I've heard from other pilots that club planes are often beat up like ordinary rental planes because not all members take a proprietary interest in caring for them, but I inspected every plane in the club's fleet and found them in better overall condition than the newer planes I used to fly at my flight school, so I'm not concerned about that with this particular club, which has 95 members who share the 6 airplanes and all of their expenses. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. There are so many variables to consider. The best choice for you is going to depend on your budget, your goals, how often you want to fly. Do some research, shop around, talk to experienced pilots before you commit to anything, and please let us know in the comments what's been working for you. Thanks for watching Pilot After 50. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel, and if you liked this video, let me know with a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments how I can do a better job. Please check out some of my other projects also at danmcgrath.net, and thank you again for watching.